Alright, hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Games I Bought Recently. Just wanted to go over some of the games that I picked up over the last few weeks that I've been playing. The first of which is Kirby Air Riders. This one really took me by surprise. I actually never played the original on the GameCube. I know a lot of people probably expect me to have played that one, but I never did. And I watched the initial reveal trailer of this and like 5 seconds of gameplay, but I never looked at any trailers. I never played the demo. I never watched any of the directs, so I went into this completely blind. And man, I was really blown away by it. But the funniest thing is the mode that most people really like in this, the city trial, that's the one where you have like 16 players and it's just absolute chaos. In the online mode where you're driving around the city trying to like power up your vehicle essentially to compete in one mini game at the very end. That's my least favorite mode because it's just so chaotic, so hectic. What I actually really like the most in this game are just the regular air rides, just the regular racing levels where it's just the brand new courses that they added, which look phenomenal. They look beautiful. It's really a show-stopping showpiece for the Switch 2 in terms of the stuff that's happening on screen and the frame rate that it maintains. And some of the levels, some of the new levels that were not in the original game, just look flat out amazing. My favorite level is the water level where it's got all these like beautiful rainbow flowing rivers, and the beginning of the level is just like this parting tsunami kind of like wave that you drive down, and it's just such a cool level. Pretty much every new level that they've added into this game is just amazing. And then they add in all of the bonus levels from the original game that I've also never played before. You can kind of tell that those are more from a previous game, like on the GameCube, but I've been really enjoying it. And I played all the modes. I really enjoy the top ride mode as well. That's the one where it's sort of like an RC Pro-Am type mode. I've been playing that online. That's by far my best mode in the game for sure. I'm really good at that mode actually for some reason. I tried the story mode, which I think was called like, oh, I forget the name of it, but it's the one where it's sort of like almost a roguelike mode where you're just doing different mini games, all the game modes, and you're kind of just like driving down this road and leveling up your vehicle and trying to get better and better, power-ups and such to get through the game with cutscenes and lore and story. That's been cool. So overall, I've really been enjoying Kirby Air Riders. It's better than I anticipated. Unfortunately, it's hard for me to get into the main mode online. And I will say some of the other modes, like the Top Riders mode, have been suffering with the amount of people that are actually playing it online. So if you're interested in playing something like Top Ride mode, I would recommend that you play that sooner rather than later, because even a day or two after launch, it was struggling to find people to connect to. I'd say if you've been waiting on picking up a Switch 2, this is still not a complete reason to get one, but it's just one more game in the Switch 2 library that, you know, one more reason to eventually pick one up if you've been kind of holding off on that. I'll be continuing to play this. I'll be continuing to stream it. But yeah, overall, one of the better games I've played this year. Next up is one that disappointed me, unfortunately, and that is Pokemon Legends ZA, the Switch 2 edition. I really wanted to like this. Initially, I was a little turned off when they first revealed the whole game would take place in a city setting, and then when they started showing gameplay of the combat and everything, I thought it looked pretty neat in terms of it looked really fast-paced. I liked the music that they had going for it. But in practice, once I started playing it, and just to preface this, I did decide to do a shiny-only playthrough. After deciding that I didn't like the way that you shiny hunt in this game, I pivoted towards, a slightly more normalized playthrough. But the one thing that I could not get over with in this game is I don't like the combat. It's too fast. It feels too hands-off. It's just, I really miss the days of Pokemon where you would select your moves and you would use your move, then the opponent uses their move, and then it's like these crucial decisions coming down to, should I use a potion, should I use this move, should I risk missing, should I risk the crit, should I risk like all these different things, and the back and forth and the awesome battle music going in the background. I feel like that's really missing in this because it's just the moves come out too fast. You're just button mashing essentially. You're just looking at the timers, like waiting for the next move to come off cooldown more so than like the strategy of the battle. And that has to do with the single player of this. The online, I'm sure when you're playing competitively, is probably handled a bit differently. But yeah, I wasn't really feeling it, unfortunately. I thought the graphics were better than I thought they were going to be. There's something to be said about a game that where the graphical fidelity of it, like maybe the textures and stuff may not be the best, but when you have really far draw distances with 60 frames a second, it does go a long way to make a good game look great and a great game look amazing. I wouldn't say this is an amazing looking game, but the graphics did take me by surprise. I love the music. The story I was super not interested in at all. I've never really been interested in stories in Pokemon games, but the combat really drove me away completely. I haven't played it in like a week. I may go back and try it one more time, but I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I might try and get rid of this one and just maybe rebuy it in the future when it's a lot cheaper or something and give it another try. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys thought about this one, because I liked Legend Arceus a lot more, and I wish that the combat would have kind of stayed more in line with a bit more of a classic style for Pokemon. At this point, I'm just waiting for the next 10th gen game to see what they do with that. Hopefully they don't copy the combat in this one too closely. Okay, next is Once Upon a Katamari for the PS5. I'm a big Katamari fan. My favorite games are the beautiful Katamari on 360 and the original Katamari Damacy, and I picked up the original Katamari game on PS2 when it first came out, before anybody really knew what it was. It was really wild and wacky to play that game back in the day, and for those that don't remember, that game used to be $20. That was considered like a budget game, which was kind of cool. Got a lot of value for it at the time. Once Upon a Katamari, I really enjoyed as well. There's something missing with it, though. Like, something is... There's a piece to the puzzle that's missing that doesn't quite feel like a 100% Katamari game for me personally. It's just something with the level designs that feels a little bit off, but I really like it. It's like a solid 7 or 8 out of 10 from what I played. I liked how you go to... The gimmick with this one is you go to all these different, like, periods in time. So maybe one level you're in like ancient Japan, the next time you're in a dinosaur level, prehistoric, the next time you're like in a western level. So it's got a fun premise to it. Fun little fun premise. The music is fun and wacky. Some of the tracks don't exactly feel like Katamari songs like they should. I'm just, I guess, kind of biased because there's so many classic songs in the original games that I just kind of I'm very attached to. They actually have song packs that you can buy in this to buy more songs for the game, and they're not cheap. I think it's like an extra $30 or $40 to get more music in this game, which is crazy. I'm not doing that. But the overall feel of it is cool. The online mode was very, very disappointing, and I'll tell you why. This is not a cross-platform game, so if you buy it on PS5, you're stuck only playing with people that bought the PS5 version. If you buy it on Steam, you're playing only with Steam, Switch, so forth, so on. So I bought this game a little bit after it came out, not too long after, a few days or something. Or I played it a few days after it came out, and the online was pretty much already dead. I struggled to get into a single online match with anybody. I got into a couple matches, and it was usually always just a 1 versus 1 situation with AI bots, which one of the things I was looking forward to the most in this was playing online with a bunch of people. And it was really a shame that the game's already dead. And that's why I always stand by the saying that, like, if you're looking forward to a game and you're really like hesitant on buying it day one because of the price, but if it has an online mode and it's a very niche release like this game, you really should think about getting it day one, just so you can play it online and just have that experience at least for a few days before the game is dead a week, a month later. Because this game, I'll tell you right now, a month from now, it's going to be pretty much impossible to find somebody to play online, at least on the PS5 version. Probably will be the same on all the other versions as well. But I do recommend it for Katamari fans. However, I'd caution you to maybe wait for it to be on sale a little bit cheaper. Now, unfortunately, since the last episode of games I bought recently, it's becoming increasingly more difficult to buy physical games. In some instances, some games are just digital only. So in this case, I'm just going to hold up the box for Luminous Arise. I picked up the PS5 version, and apparently they're going to come out with a physical at some point, but that point has not it has not arisen yet, but they do plan on releasing a physical hopefully sometime in the future. I'm a huge Luminous fan. Luminous is one of my favorite puzzle games. Actually, Luminous is my favorite puzzle game of all time. The original PSP version, just absolutely transformative experience on the PSP. And I've been a big fan of the series up until now, and I'm still a fan of it. I don't mean to say that in like a negative way. Luminous Arise, the new gimmick is that you can play in VR. It's very much like Tetris Effect, and it's a very beautiful game. The music is awesome. There's some tracks in there where I'm like, I don't know if this sounds like Luminous to me, but it's all original music. That's the great thing. It's not licensed soundtracks. I'm going to put the game down. It's all licensed soundtracks and everything. And if you play this game in VR, it's going to be an amazing experience. Like, this game is made for VR. If you played Tetris Effect in VR, I'm sure you know that this is going to be equally as awesome. I just love Luminous's... It's a very hard game to watch somebody else play. Before I continue on with it, I just want to say that if you watch gameplay of this, it's very hard to tell what's going on. Very hard to keep track of what's happening, especially with new gimmicks that they've added, where like you can kind of like burst the blocks around you and like kind of buy yourself some extra time, which originally I didn't like, but then I ended up really loving. But this is a great game. if you've been put off from trying Luminous all these years, this is a good introduction to the series. There's a lot of great game modes. There's an online mode with incentives to get on and play every day. So I do encourage you to check this out while it's still kind of new. The price is a bit of a deterrent. It is $39.99 for a digital game, so I know that's going to be a turnoff for a lot of people. Maybe what you're better off doing is playing the original Luminous game. Any version of it will do, as long as it's, you know, Luminous HD, Luminous PSP, even Luminous Live would be a decent way to sample Luminous. And then see if you like that, and then maybe think about picking this one up. The visuals in this one can get a little overwhelming. There's settings where you can like tone them down a bit and everything, but if you're looking for the full experience, it is a very visually overwhelming game. Definitely play it with headphones on, definitely play it with the lights off, and if you have the ability, play it in VR. I highly recommend that. I did not play it in VR, but I did go through the story mode, I did some of the other modes, I played online a bit, I got a good sampling of it, and I do recommend it. But maybe wait for the physical, if it comes, or maybe wait for a digital sale online. Also, by the way, before we end the video, I'm going to be doing a special little extra thing at the end of this video for you guys. I did pick up, this is not something super recent, but I did pick these up in a live stream that I did, and I just kind of wanted to share them with you guys, for those of you that were not members and didn't see the live stream when I did this. But I did add a few new N64 games to my collection, complete in-box N64 games. I picked up Star Wars, The Battle for Naboo, and I've never played this. Maybe, did I rent this in Blockbuster back in the day? I don't remember. But lately I've kind of been on a Star Wars prequels kick. Like, I'm really appreciating and loving the prequels more than ever, and I have recently decided that The Phantom Menace is actually my favorite Star Wars movie from the prequels. And I just really wanted to pick up a new Star Wars Episode 1 game, and I also really wanted a new N64 game, so I did pick up a complete copy of this. Haven't gotten around to playing this yet, and I know the analog 3D is, you know, all the buzz right now. I unfortunately did not get a pre-order in for the first wave of that, but hopefully for the second wave I can get the analog 3D and maybe play it in a whole new way. I also picked up Wetrix because this is another pretty cheap N64 game to get complete in box. It's not too expensive. I think I may have rented this game back in the day. I'm pretty sure I did, and I did not remember liking it because I don't know, like, I'm not super into puzzle games sometimes, but this one now I think I have a newfound appreciation for it, because if you look at the gameplay for this, it's got some awesome water physics. I really always love the water physics in N64 games, especially with Wave Race 64. So I figured I would give this one a try. It's nice and cheap. I just love finding a cheap complete box N64 game that I'm interested in playing. So added that to the collection. And this one here I did splurge a little bit. I will admit I got a little carried away recently with like getting obsessed with Pokemon again, and I never played this. I rented the first one back in the day, and I did not like Pokemon Stadium when I rented it, but man, lately I have just been craving Pokemon so much, so I picked up a dream N64 game of mine, and that is Pokemon Stadium 2. And nice, look at that sheen. Look at my light just reflecting off of that. Looks awesome. Really good shape. I look forward to trying this out. I don't plan on doing any transfer pack stuff. The way I'm going to do this, I'm going to play through the game using only the rental Pokemon, which I hear is a really difficult experience, but I'm up for the challenge. I want to see how that goes. But I had an opportunity to get this for a pretty good price, so I jumped on that. I do want to go back and play a lot of the older Pokemon games as well, but that is one that I have wanted for quite a long time. My last pickup here is, I'm going to do a little bonus mystery unboxing for you guys. You can see they actually marked it as fragile. I know what game this is already, so it's not a mystery for me, but it will be a mystery for you, and it'll also be a mystery for me as to seeing the game in person for the first time. This one here is not a game that many of you are going to have heard of before, as I struggle to get this dull razor blade into the box. Got to be very careful here. It's for a console that I have done a lot of collecting for. I'm just gonna rip the box. Over the years, my collection has grown substantially for it since the last 10 years or so. And that is got some bonus extras in here. There it is here. Let's see, does anybody know what it is before I show it? Anybody recognize that? This was a Kickstarter game, but it is a game that I was not aware of. I don't really follow Kickstarter stuff too much anymore, and that is Cosmo Knight Xeon, or Zion? Cosmo Knight Xeon? Get a picture of that for you. So this is a Game Boy Color game, and it is available on other platforms, but I want physical when I can, you know? Apparently it comes with a fortune teller miracle fish. I don't know what the heck this is. I'm not sure why this was in there, but there you go. There's apparently a fortune telling mirror. Hold on, what does this say? Place fish in palm of hand, and its movements will indicate. Oh, okay. All right, hold on. We're gonna do this right now. So here's the miracle fish. I'm gonna put it in the palm of my hand. Oh, its head and the tail are going up. Oh, it's fully okay. Let's see what that means. Moving head, jealousy. You guys jealous? Moving tail, indifference. Moving head and tail. Okay, moving head and tail, in love. Well, I guess I am in love with the Game Boy Color. That is true. Well, that was fun. Yeah, you can see on the screenshots back here. It's just a. See if I can get it in focus. Yep, there you go. Perfect. Just a pretty standard Game Boy Color looking action platformer. Wasn't too expensive. Apparently, in order to get this version, you had to be a Kickstarter backer. It also comes with, I believe this is just a poster in here. I'm going to leave that sealed. You know, I don't want to wreck it too much, but yeah, that's everything physical-wise. I've picked up a lot of games in October for like horror games and stuff, but for this video, I wanted to keep it a little bit short. I didn't want to go over all the horror games and stuff that I did pick up. I did pick up Silent Hill F. I enjoyed it. I already sold the physical copy of it, though. It just wasn't the Silent Hill that was super for me or something I'd ever play again. I picked up some other things, but we'll leave that for the next episode of games I bought recently. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.